Hello everyone, Rurikhan here coming at you with another First Impressions video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Endless Legend. And you guys might be wondering, what exactly is Endless Legend? And it is one of those titles that people seem to refer to as a 4X title. That be the 4X's being Explore, Expand, Exploit, and Exterminate. So it's basically a game where you go off and you explore like a map, and you can then gather resources and build cities and develop a civilization, all that kinds of stuff. I think you guys kind of get the gist of what the type of game is. And so now that begs the question, exactly why am I looking into Endless Legend? Because usually I never cover any of those titles. Well, here's the thing. Ever since I played Dungeon of the Endless, I have to say that I was really impressed with what Amplitude Studios could do, because I really enjoyed Dungeon of the Endless. You guys might have seen the video that I made a while back for that particular game. So when they came out with Endless Legend, I've always been somewhat curious, but I've always been like a little bit scared also of diving into it because of the fact that it was a 4X. However, recently I asked them for a key so that I could give it a look and just take the plunge and check it out, because this is more of a case that I'm curious about what this studio can do. I'm more curious about what the studio itself can do than necessarily what type of game it is. As a matter of fact, I think this is the first time that a 4X title is going to show up on my particular channel. So let's see how that goes. Now, currently the game is still in early access, just like Dungeon of the Endless. Guys, you really need to start actually finishing games here. No, but Endless Legend is I think it's fairly recent. Currently in its early access mode, you don't have the tutorial campaign, which, trust me, that is going to become really useful for new players. There still is no multiplayer, and there are no mods. They are still working with the system that I mentioned the last time that I did a video from this studio, which was obviously Dungeon of the Endless. They're working with the Games Together system, which means that basically they take a lot, and I do mean a lot, of input from the community in order to develop their games. However, that also, I would have to say, probably slows down the development process just a bit, but that is my personal opinion. So anyways, currently the only thing we really have available here is either new game or load game. So we are going to load up a game here, and we're going to just get started. So your options right now as an early access title is you really can't choose difficulty or game speed, but you can select how many empires you're going to have in the map. I usually just go with 4. In terms of world size, let's go with normal instead of large, because last time, this is actually the second take of me recording this video, and when you go with a large map, it seems that you don't encounter the AI as soon as you possibly could. But don't worry, there's a lot of stuff to explain even before you encounter the AI. As a matter of fact, I could explain most of the game before you even, without you even interacting with the AI. So we're going to go with the Vaulters. There's currently 1, 2, 3, 4 factions that you can have. I'm sorry, it's just because one of the factions is mentioned twice, and there's the random thing, so I was like, oh, how many of them are? So there's 4 factions. There's the Wild Walkers, which are like the elves. There's the Broken Lords, which seem to be like some kind of a robot race. Robot cyborgs, or whatever, maybe some form of undead, technologically advanced. Then there's the Vaulters, and then there are the Necrophages. Now here's the thing though, Necrophages and Broken Lords have some very specific mechanics to them which completely change gameplay, so I decided to go with the more basic races, and the 2 more basic races according to the game's manual were the Wild Walkers and the Vaulters. And you guys know I wouldn't be caught dead playing an elf, so obviously we went with the Vaulters. I ain't no tree hugger, that's for damn sure. So let's get this party started. And let me just tell you guys, I was actually really surprised, because I thought I wouldn't be able to get into a 4X game. I really just thought, like, I'm probably going to load this up, I'm going to hate it, I'm not going to get into it, and it's going to suck. But to be completely honest, that has not been my experience for multiple reasons, but I think one of the key aspects of it is presentation, because one of the things that always turns me off in a lot of 4X titles is like the presentation, how everything is just like, oh, there's this circle here, that's your unit, then there's this thing, and there's not as much animation. And you guys know that I'm big into animation, so that is how, once I started playing this particular title, I was like, well, the art style actually looks really gorgeous, I like the animations, so I guess I could kind of get into it. That was basically the way it happened. However, I also have to confess that I spent quite a lot of hours. Wow, we started right finding a new minor faction, huh? But as I was saying, I have to admit I've also spent multiple hours to actually understand kind of the inner workings of the game and how like the best strategy for my personal playstyle was. Because trust me, without having a tutorial, this game can be quite challenging and it might take you quite a bit to actually get used to it. Anyways, what are minor factions? So there's the main factions, which is you and your 3 AI opponents, which I've set up at the start of the game. And then there's these minor factions that are spread out through the map. Like, let's say if you think in terms of a MOBA, these would be the creeps that you can go and kill, so to speak. So you kill these, and then you are able to assimilate them or absorb them into your empire using several of the game's mechanics, and that will get you certain bonuses as well as enable you to build certain units. So, for instance, if I was to destroy or ally with the minor faction of Delvers, I would then be able to assimilate them into my empire once I've gotten enough influence, and that would allow me to actually build dredgers out of my city, as well as it would give me plus 5% dust, which dust happens to be the currency of the title, on my city, as well as plus 5% dust per pacified village on my city. So this is the new minor faction that I found, the Delvers. I'm going to assume that they are pretty close. Yep, there they are. And this is essentially how you start. You have this unit over here, and this is actually not just one unit, as you guys can probably think, because 4X games usually they have to clump stuff up together. But this is essentially a unit that is composed of a hero, who is Petrov Judith, and it's got a unit of settlers in it, as well as 3 units of marines. So the 3 units of marines are your standard troopers at the start of the game for my specific faction, and the settlers are the ones that allow you to build a city. So you have to build a city as pretty much as fast as you can in the game, because if you don't build a city, you're essentially not really advancing in the game. I mean, you can't just run around with your hero forever, because it's costing you dust from your upkeep of your troops and stuff like that. So you need to form a city as fast as you possibly can. Now, one of the things that I've actually seen this in a video by someone who made a video for Amplitude Studios. It's in their forums or something, and it was a really good thing. I'm sorry, I didn't remember to note down the name, so yeah. But it was a really cool thing that I thought that he did, which is he would take off these units from your main unit to kind of explore the area and then decide where he wants to place the city, which is obviously a good idea. You want to be able to explore so that you can select the best suitable location for your city. So let's go ahead and take off these units from your main force and get them to explore around a little bit, because you want to put your city in the best possible place, because you can't just switch your city's location. You can expand it, however, but you can't switch it. Oh man, I don't like what I'm seeing, because usually I like to see anomalies. There's these things over here which are anomalies, and if you build your city on top of anomalies, you're going to get extra bonuses from the land, and it doesn't seem like we're going to be getting as much of that as I would like, which might mean I might actually not build my city just yet. So let's separate these units and let's make them head off in different directions so that we can get a better idea of what the map looks like. So let's move over here, and let's move these guys over here. Okay, so here we got 2 anomalies, which will give us multiple bonuses if we happen to build our city here. Here we have another anomaly, and here, oh, we have 2 anomalies over here. These actually are going to give us a bunch of science if we happen to build in this general direction. So let's get this army to explore further, and let's get this army to go like over here or something, and let's get this army unit to go this direction. In the meantime, let's put our hero here. Now, as you can see, there is a limit to how much you can move your units within each turn. And that after you've exhausted all of your movement points, you have to end your turn. And then you can do it all over again. Now, we haven't really built our city yet because I'm being really, really indecisive as to where I want to put it. So let's do one final round of exploration and then make our decision. Looks like we found another minor faction. Let's get these troopers to move. Actually, let's just move everyone in the general direction that I've sent them. Okay, so if I had to take... Oh wow, looks like there's another anomaly here. So there's an anomaly here, here, and here, and a whole lot of water. I like it. I like it. And this is where we're going to build our city. Because we got 3 anomalies pretty close together, and having water actually gives you a significant advantage in terms of technology later on. So yeah, we're going to be moving everybody back here. So everybody start getting your asses back here. Now the reason you want to keep your army fairly together in the early stages is because you want, actually not all of the army. Let's have one unit stay behind for scouting. So you guys stay there, everybody else starts moving back. Everybody move. Okay, now here's another thing that you will find as you go through the title. You will find these ruins, which are very, very shiny, and you can basically explore them. And usually they will either give you quests or they will give you bonuses for exploring those ruins. So it's always good to have at least one unit out doing some exploration and doing quests and stuff like that. Now the risk. Actually, we got 60 dust out of this, but the risk is that if this unit is forced to do battle, they're going to pretty much get wiped out fairly easy, because they're just a bunch of ranged dudes who can't really do much in small numbers. So let's see, time to start planning out where the city is going to be laid down, because we got the settlers inside this hero unit here. And the city is going to be laid down there. Because what's going to happen is when you place down a city, it's going to gain benefits from everything that is around it, every single hexagon that's around it. So if you put a city on top of these 2 anomalies here, you're going to get extra effects, like we're going to get extra food, we're going to get extra science points, and we're going to get extra dust. Here, we're going to get, again, extra food, extra science points, extra dust, and plus 10% happiness on the city. Holy crap, that's quite sweet, actually. So let's go ahead and build our city here. These anomalies seem to always be positive, so that's always good, I guess. Let's move these guys slightly more in this direction. And we have another army incoming. While that army is coming, they might as well swing by this ruin over here, and they should also give us an additional bonus for that. Let's end our turn. We're probably fairly behind our computer opponents, as you guys can see here from these scores, because usually I think the CPU always lays down its city on the first turn regardless of the conditions of the terrain, so they're going to be a lot more advanced than we are, but it's fine. I think we'll be able to make that up. Where do we want to move the exploring army now? Let's move this way. Explore our possibilities of expansion. And in the meantime, let's get everybody to move. There we go. There's our city built. Our hero is now gone because he essentially has no units to lead, so he just goes back to the academy. So if you go, there's a bunch of screens here, which I won't be able to get into too much detail on each of these screens, but there is basically a bunch of stuff here that you will have to figure out as you play through the game. Let me just give you the very basic example. So the Empire Management screen allows you to kind of manage how you the factions that you've affiliated, as well as your Empire Plan, which gives you a bunch of bonuses. The City List screen is obviously a list of each of your cities, as well as all the resources they're producing right now. This is your research screen, and this is very, very important because essentially this is how you get like upgrades for your units and stuff like that. And the way that I usually like to do it is if there's enough water, I like building this thing, the Dust Dredger, because it really increases your currency gain on places that have a lot of water, which happens to be the case for the particular place that I'm at. So we obviously will want to build that. But before that, I like building a meal foundry because it gives us extra of that orange stuff, which is essentially industry points. As a matter of fact, I should tell you guys about each of the points that you guys see here. You're not going to be able to memorize this from the get-go, but I might as well just give you a general idea. If it's green, it's food. Food is basically needed to increase the population of your city. The more population that you have in your city, the more you'll be able to generate resources, because, for instance, right now we have one worker, which is kind of how you start your own city. You have one worker. This is like a unit of workers, not really just one worker, but you guys get the idea. So currently we have one unit of workers. However, if we change it to different places, it's going to influence our resource generation in different ways. So obviously, food will enable you to generate more of these workers, therefore enables you to improve the resource generation of your city. Then you've got this, which is the industrial potential. Industrial potential, basically what it does is whenever you build something, like for instance, we're going to build a Founders Memorial here. Whenever you build something, it's going to take a certain amount of turns. Like right now, it would take infinitum because we're not really producing any industry. However, if you move this guy over to industry, he's going to be able to help produce this Founders Memorial a little bit faster, which is why you want to have as much population as possible. And it's also why you want to have industry, as much industry as possible, because it's going to boost how fast you can build things. It's going to boost how fast you can build structures, how fast you can build soldiers, and all of that stuff. But for now, let's leave him at food because I want to have more workers. Then on top of that, there is the science. The science is what is used to basically do the research. As you can see there, research cost, certain amount of science. And then there is the dust. Dust is used to basically buy things, namely usually to buy out. So for instance, if I had 112 dust, I would be able to buy out this structure and just get it made instantly. There's other uses for dusts, and then there is influence. Influence is something that is used mostly for diplomacy and stuff like that, which currently we don't have that much use for it at the start of the game. Now, anyways, I was going through the research. So we want to get some more industry so that we can get our city working a little bit faster. Next, we want to get some more food so that people can grow a little bit faster in our city. Next, we obviously want to get some more gold, which is always useful. And since we're in a water environment, I probably want to get some gold off of the rivers as well. Now, the next thing that I like to do is I like to be able to hire heroes, but I think I'll delay that for a little bit because usually it takes me a long time to actually buy a second hero. And the Rookery, essentially what it does is it allows you to buy more heroes for your armies. So we'll leave the hero for now, but what else are we going to put in queue for research? Well, it's going to be really good if we have a Center for Seas and Rivers because we're near the water, as I've mentioned. We probably want to have an alchemist's furnace so that we can mine stuff, and we will want to have advanced armor and weapons. I always go for that. Now, the thing is, in order to reach the second age of research, you need to have 10 researches made on the first stage. But every race seems to already start with two researches already made. So the Vaulters come with an open pit mine, which is a type of exploitation structure that you can build. And they also have a public library. So they already have two things. So technically you only need 8 upgrades or 8 researches to get into the next age of research. So I usually don't go above that. I usually don't go above that number of research in order to get to the next stage of things. But this time around, I might actually have to do that because I want to be able to hire heroes. So we will go 1 above what we really needed to so that we can have some additional features. You can also research soldiers if you so desire. There's a bunch of stuff that you can research. You can research Search Party, which gives you more benefits for exploration instead of city development. But I've been focusing more on city development. Personally, you can build a sewer system, which will increase your happiness in the city. You can have a language square, which actually increases the number of actions that you can perform. Again, when you find your minor what they call minor factions, like we did, you can actually parlay with them instead of just destroy them, or you can bribe them. But yeah, for now we'll leave research as it is because this is one of the things that I like about it. One of the things that I really like about this title is that you can just set a bunch of stuff to do, and then it's just like let it roll. Like for instance, research. It said it's going to research this. then this by the order that I've selected them, and it's going to just keep on doing that automatically throughout the turns. I don't have to worry about that anymore. As well as structures that you build. Like I've built a Founders Memorial. As soon as it can actually begin producing it, it will automatically without me doing a single thing. Now at the start of the game, I like to assign the hero to my city, which if we go to the army section and we go to the academy, you can see your heroes. We can assign them to the city, which is going to give certain bonuses to your city, having a hero assigned to them. I'm not exactly sure what bonuses they give, but I do believe that as soon as you put the hero in there, it's going to give some buffs. And since I don't have a whole lot to do with my hero, I'll just put him doing like duty at the city, and that's going to be it. And let's end the turn. I shouldn't have ended the turn, but that's fine for now. So this is the quest system. Like we just gotten a quest. This game has quests that you're supposed to do. They seem to be randomly generated, except for your main quest. It always seems to start with a quest like this, which is this quest screen. The way it works is that you've got some lore over here that you can actually read and immerse yourself into the storyline. But if you're the kind of player that is more gameplay driven and you don't want to have to read through all of the storyline and understanding what is happening, you might just want to see the objective. So it's like a too long didn't read part of that here, which is within your empire region, pacify at least one village of a minor faction and then assimilate them. So pacifying could be done by bribing, parlaying, or just wrecking their village and killing their army, which currently is the only option that I have because I didn't do the research for doing the whole parlay thing, because I don't care much for that. So we've locked our hero in the city, which means that he is currently performing duty at the city. I'm not exactly... It's going to give defensive bonuses on the army, and it's going to give science bonuses per workers, so whatever. We've got these soldiers over here, which, like I said, I want them to search this ruin. Hopefully we'll get some additional... There we go, some more dust. It's always welcome. And where is my other army? It's over there. Let's try to get these two armies together. Because basically ranged units strengthen numbers, otherwise they get completely and utterly wrecked. So let's continue doing a little bit of exploration here. Hey, we're getting lucky. Another ruin. Hopefully we'll be able to get some more loot out of that. And it's about time that we start developing our city as well. Now, for whatever reason, we're not really generating as much of industry as I would like. Well, probably because we didn't build on top of any industry, which is actually... I didn't notice that we hadn't built on top of any industry because we virtually have zero industry generation, which is really bad. Oh man, that kind of really sucks. As a matter of fact, let me take a look at the tiles here. If you press this, it essentially tells you the resource that each tile generates. And yeah, while it was a good idea because there were two anomalies here, there's not going to be a lot of industry generation, which is going to considerably slow down my efforts to expand my city. So we're going to have to spend a lot of money, is where we're getting at. We're going to have to spend a lot of money to actually build structures. So we might as well get to that now. Let's click the city here. Let me unclick this because the game actually looks pretty beautiful and I don't like having numbers all over it. Let's go ahead and force them to finish this with dust. So that's going to give us a basic generation of industry in our city at least. And let's get these guys to move closer to the city because, like I said, you need to have an army close to the city. Otherwise, if you get attacked, you're going to basically have your city destroyed very early on. So there's some more dust from our exploring army there. Let's explore the regions around us so that we can figure out where we will move if we want to make an expansion or something like that. Because obviously you want to expand your empire. And here's the thing. One of the things that I really like about this game is I think I really like the art style. Like I said, I like the art style. Like I've mentioned, I think it has a really beautiful art style. I like the fact that every unit is animated. It's not like just a piece of art just floating around in the middle of a map that your units actually move. And I really like the aesthetic of it. And then there's this thing, which is this allows you to basically see the reach of your empire currently. So I just like the way it seamlessly zooms out and zooms in, and you get this really detailed view of your army and stuff and your city, and I think it's cool. Now, focusing a little bit more on gameplay, what should we be doing now? Well, we want to build a borough street because we need to get some of this industry going. So we'll build it here. Borough essentially extends your city, and by extending your city, what's going to happen is it is going to allow you to gain the resources that you have in these adjacent tiles, and obviously if you put it on top of an anomaly, you're going to get the bonus from the anomaly as well, which is why I wanted to build the city here, because there's like 3 anomalies pumping out all kinds of bonuses into my city, which is a pretty good thing to have. So this is a screen indicating that you've completed your Founders Memorial, and it's going to give you bonuses to resource generation, and it is now starting to build the borough streets. Now, if you look at the construction thing here, it's going to tell you how many turns it is going to take to build these borough streets. It's going to take 22 turns, or if I get eventually enough dust, I can boost the speed at which that thing is going to get built. However, I want to really have that thing go fast, so we'll put 2 people working exclusively on industry to generate this particular borough as fast as we can. We still have the city, the hero locked onto the city, because whenever you assign a hero to a city, he becomes locked to it for a while. I want to have the hero so that eventually I take over this Seraton village, which is one of the minor factions. I want to go ahead and just destroy them and wreck their face because they're too close to my own city, and they're going to start generating armies of creeps and stuff that will basically do damage to my city. So the next thing after the borough streets that we're going to be doing is a mill foundry, because it's going to improve, once again, our industry, which is something that I really focus on early on, industry, so that I can spread out as fast as I possibly can. And that is going to take up to 19 turns to do. One of the things that sometimes I wonder is, are things supposed to take that long in 4X games? Am I just not experienced at all? Because I always seem to thought that, like, man, it seems to take quite a while. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I guess that's kind of like how 4X games work. It is actually supposed to take that long. I don't know. Anyways, we'll do some more. I wanted to do some more exploration, but I'm really scared that those guys can come out of their little cave there and start attacking me. So I don't want to take our soldiers too far away. So let's keep exploring with our scouts here up top. I call them scouts, but they're essentially just like a basic unit that I'm using to scout out the map. We're going to end the turn. Let's see, do we have enough money to buy that borough? Not yet. Let's get these guys closer to the city, because I'm probably the hero. I think in the next turn I should be able to unassign the hero from the city. Whenever you assign a hero to a city, it becomes locked for 5 turns, essentially, serving the city. After that, you can freely unassign him and assign him to other things. Okay, we got, is this another ruin? Yeah, this is another ruin, right? Yeah, another Auriga ruin. Let's get over there and explore that. Probably we can remove our hero from the city now, right? We can unassign him. That sends him to the academy. The academy, which happens to be in this screen near the army. And now we can assign her to an army, which is going to be the army that is closest to the city. And the reason why I know that the 1st Brass Legion is the one that's closest to the city is because it's got 2 units of Marines in it. So, there we go. That puts our hero in there. And we're about 30 minutes in, and we're about due for some combat so that I can show you guys how the combat actually works. The hero is now with the unit, so the hero's portrait now represents the unit itself. So currently the unit has the hero and 2 Marines, and we are going to pacify this little village over here. Now pay attention as to how combat works, because this is really, really cool. So when you engage on someone, they're going to tell you to select your global strategy. You want to be offensive, you want to be defensive, or you want to have hold position. Now, I usually go with hold position because we are playing essentially with units that are ranged. So you want to like select a vantage point and try to just rain death from afar on your enemies, which is why I go with the hold position strategy. But you guys will see how that works. Now you can also auto-resolve battles if you're someone that is more into actually just doing the whole city building and that kind of stuff, and you don't really want to focus that much on battle. You can just make your army big enough where you can just win everything by auto. Me personally, I like the combat system, so we're going to go with manual. Now notice how that worked. Essentially, the game didn't teleport us to a magical location where the fighting is going to take place. No, you're fighting in the same battlefield that your city is in and all that stuff. As a matter of fact, you can see that this thing here essentially represents your city, and this thing, actually their city is not represented. That's a damn shame. But you can see that your city is represented here, and you can see the tiles and stuff. This is essentially the place that you are in, and that is where the battle is going to take place. Now, something that is really cool also is the fact that, as you guys can see, there's a height difference to these specific tiles, but we can't really access them right now because of the way that the battlefield laid out. But if we were able to put units on these higher tiles here, what was going to happen is that those units would have bonuses to attack and stuff. Now, from my experience, I already know that this particular army can shoot at anything that is two tiles apart. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be focus firing. Wow, this is not going to be that easy. This is actually going to be a fairly tricky battle. So what we're going to do is we're going to spread out and we're going to have the hero right in the middle to support whoever is left. Now the hero can shoot, I believe, up to 3 tiles away. So from my current position, the hero can shoot 1, 2, 3 tiles. It can shoot this. 1, 2, 3 tiles. It can shoot this as well. So I can select whichever one I want my hero to shoot. And these guys are both 2 tiles away of their respective targets. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be focus firing on the guy on the left. So we're going to have, actually we finished deployment, so let's hit ready. And now you get to select what type of attack you want to make. Now, if you guys remember at the start of the fight, it told us select like your default mode if you want to have offensive, defensive, or hold position. Essentially what it does is it sets all of your units to that specific command. You can then individually set their default actions to defense or attack if you so desire. And basically what this does is there's a period where you choose, look, I want you guys to do this. After that, the combat will evolve in ways like maybe the enemy moved closer to you, so your units have to react to that. Now currently they will hold their ground. Actually, I'm curious to see what happens if I put them in defensive, because I've always used hold position. Let's use defensive for a change. Don't know exactly what's going to happen. And let's have the hero actually on offense, because the hero is a beast. It's going to do tons of damage and stuff. But essentially, this is going to be what happens once the combat starts, and if your unit can't perform a certain action, it's going to try to either work defensively or work offensively, depending. Like, say for instance, I order my unit to attack, and I order them to hold position. Well, they're still going to move forward, so never mind. I'm probably confusing you guys. Let's just select our targets, and you guys can see for yourselves how the combat works. Launch. So you got your hero firing, 16 damage. This is their health bar. You got these guys firing, 13 damage. You got these guys firing, 13 damage as well. Now these guys are going to move, and we're probably going to be able to counterattack on this one, but this one's going to come in. It's going to chop our archers down. So we take 8 damage on that unit. Our hero is going to get an attack on that because they're basically in range of our hero. And these guys are actually moving into attack. Wow, that is a little bit surprising, to be honest. Particularly considering that I have them on defense and they're moving in order to go offensive. So I don't know, I guess I still don't have a complete grasp of how the combat system works. But right now, we pretty much have one target, so he's going to get killed. Get wrecked, son! And so they're pretty much pacified at this point. However, what happens is essentially their city is in ruins because we've destroyed them, we've attacked them, and we've conquered them. So now you have the option of actually rebuilding their city. And that is going to give you bonus resources on your own city for rebuilding this Seraton village. And then you also have the option of assimilating them once you get 30 influence. Like, for instance, if you look at our influence right now, it is currently 8 plus 2, which means we're generating 2 influence per turn. When we get to 30 influence, we'll be able to assimilate these guys, and that will enable us to build. What can we build? We're going to be able to build those Driders, and we're going to have +5 defense on units, as well as +5 defense per pacified village on unit. Wow, that's pretty cool, but I'm not a big fan of these spiders, so we're probably not going to be assimilating these guys. Well, actually, we probably do have to assimilate them for our quest, because we have quests, like I've mentioned, And currently our quest is within your Empire region. Specify at least one minor faction and assimilate them. And why do we need to do this? Because once we do this, it's going to give us another quest. And this is like our main quest line at the start of the game. You will also be able to encounter side quests as you explore through the game, so bear that in mind. However, you should probably think about rebuilding this soon, because I think if you don't rebuild it, I think that they can rebuild it. And then they'll be able to, once again, spawn units that can be a threat to your empire. So, here we go. We now have a new quest, which happened at that particular ruin over there, which means with the hero-led army, loot as many treasures as you can in 15 turns. So, if we take a hero-led army over there, which had just been revealed, we will get, as a reward, a Spike of the Defender, which is a two-handed spear, which can then be used on certain units. It can't be used by all units, like I don't think I own any unit that can use the spear, but there you go. However, we obviously need to be taking this unit back over here. Actually, we might go ahead and try to do that quest. The thing is, it's a risk going that far away from your city without really having any backup. Okay, so we got the borough streets, which require 222 in order to basically finish. However, we can force the finish of the mill foundry, and that is going to have an industry effect on the city. So essentially, we should probably do that because it's going to reduce the number of turns it's going to take to build the borough streets. So let's go for that. Once that is finished, the bonus only comes into effect once we finish building it, which speeding it up basically means the next time you end your turn, you can then finish that particular building. So let's move these guys, and let's move these guys. Oh crap, there's an army marching towards my dudes, and I don't want my dudes getting killed, so we need to basically rally these two forces together and then push those guys off of there. So let us continue here. What can we do on the city? Okay, we've already done everything. However, after that, we should start thinking about what we're going to be doing after it. And I would say, let's absorb this city. Let's rebuild the Seriton village at least, because it's going to give us some more bonuses in terms of resource generation and all that. Oh, there's something there. We should eventually go there. Oh, actually, it's fairly close. It's only going to take us 3 turns to get there, so we'll do that while these guys are tuck-tailing and running back to the main army. So let's end the turn. We've completed siege storage. Oh crap, there's enemies all over the place. This does not look good. So there's a Drider over there. And there's an army. At least a bunch of units trying to get to my archers over here. Which I don't like. Not really archers, they're more like crossbowmen. Ah, oh, damn it. I should try to get that. Where's the army that was over there? There was supposed to be like an army over there, I think. Well, we'll just rally up to them because I don't want to lose those guys. You've encountered a new minor faction, Silix. Which I thought were these ones. Are these the ones, the Silix? No, it was probably a city or something that we saw. Although I can't really remember where I saw them. But anyways, the hell with that. We've gotten the mill foundry built, and next is going to be the borough streets. And as you can see, the borough streets number of turns was reduced considerably due to the fact that we've built that that mill. Okay, so we've got these guys, so we need to... Let's actually meet up at the ruins. That seems like a plan. And turn. It's a really bad idea to leave your city undefended like that. Okay, this sucks because our army hasn't actually gotten there. Oh, wait, it did. It has gotten there. Good. Wait. Oh, no, we're being attacked by the centaurs down here. I thought we were being attacked up there. Okay, we'll do hold position manual, which is pretty much as straightforward as it gets. Okay, let's put the hero over here. Oops. Let's put the hero over here since he can shoot 3 tills apart. He'll be able to shoot from here, and he's probably going to get a bonus because he's on higher ground. Because yes, higher ground does matter. These guys are actually also on higher ground now that I think about it, aren't they? No, this is essentially the same level as these. Okay, well, that kind of sucks, but we'll have to deal with it. Let's put these guys further ahead, make them a little bit of a more tasty treat. As a matter of fact, let's make them really ahead, because we don't want these centaurs engaging on this unit, because this unit is fairly weak, and if they kill every single person in this unit by doing enough damage, you're going to lose the entire unit, which is something that I don't really care for. We're going to be basically shooting... Oh, we have an extra unit here? Oh yeah, we had the unit that was close enough. Sometimes you get units that are close enough to help out, which happened to be the case of these guys. This was the army that was running away from the north of the map, and they will join in on the fight. So let's go ahead and get some action going. These guys they have to get wrecked. Come on. Ooh. Here comes the hero shot. Boom! 17 damage. Not really that impressive. A bunch of more shots from those guys, and these guys will hopefully still be able to shoot as well. And get... Oh, what? He survived? Oh, crap. And there we go. We've sustained actually quite a significant amount of losses, which is not that good. But still, we didn't really lose any full units, so the units, they can regenerate, essentially, which kind of doesn't make a lot of sense if you really think about it. It's like, how do they regenerate? How do dead people come back to life? Well, you would think like maybe they've recruited around or something. So now we've merged back the army, and I want to get to this ruins, which we can't get on this turn, but hopefully we'll do that on the next one. And this is essentially the gameplay that you can expect from, oh crap, what the hell are you doing there, Drider? You get the hell away from my city. Don't mess with me. Successful search, 40 dust. But as I was saying, this is essentially the gameplay of Endless Legend. I mean, you explore. Unfortunately, we didn't really meet up with any of the AI factions, but yeah, you explore, you complete quests, and it's actually a lot of fun, which I didn't think that I was going to enjoy, because usually I don't tend to enjoy 4X games all that much, but I enjoyed it, and I actually thought it was pretty cool. So you guys have seen a significant amount of gameplay. We haven't even built the borough streets, damn it. Come on, expand that thing. Let's expand now. Let's just spend money and expand it. And as you can see, we've now expanded our city, and that is going to give us additional resource generation. We've actually have 2 people working on industry. No, go back to making babies. We need to have more people so that we can have more people working. However, notice that the contentment level seems to be dropping, which means that eventually we might have to do some sewers and stuff to get the people a little bit happier. Let's destroy these Driders as kind of a final thing. But, yeah, I mean, in terms of graphics, I like it. In terms of the art style, I have to say I really like it. I really like this art style. In terms of animations, I think the animations look pretty good for a game of this type, for this type of game at least, because usually some of these games don't even try to... Wow, we actually have these enemy units right on top of us. Not sure if they will be joining in on the battle or not. But for this kind of game, I think that the animations actually look great. I like the art style is just gorgeous. I think it's a really beautiful game. And that's pretty much it. I like it. You guys can probably see from the gameplay if you like it or not. However, obviously be warned, this is still an early access. Expect bugs. Throughout my multiple hours of playing this game, I think I might have seen 3 error messages. And even then, these were not like error messages that would crash the game or anything. It was just like a red window would pop up, and that was pretty much it, and it would allow me to continue playing. So it is actually fairly polished for an early access title. But then again, I've kind of expected that, considering how good Dungeon of the Endless was when I got to it. So yeah, as per usual, thank you very much for watching. Leave me your comments, feedback, all that kinds of good stuff in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in the next one.